The secret message hidden in my grandmother's will that no one in the family noticed but me. When my grandmother passed away, everyone in the family was only focused on what they might inherit. But when I read her will, I noticed something none of them did, a hidden message buried between the lines. At first, I thought it was just old-fashioned phrasing, but the more I read, the clearer it became. Grandma had left behind a secret meant only for me. My grandmother was the quiet backbone of our family, the kind of woman who baked pies every Sunday, mailed handwritten birthday cards, and remembered every tiny detail about your life. She lived in a small house in Vermont that smelled like cinnamon and cedar, and she always said, family is everything, but not everyone in the family is who they say they are. I never really understood what that meant, not until after she was gone. At the reading of her will, my Uncle Mark and Aunt Denise were already whispering about who would get the house and who'd take the savings account. It felt wrong. Grandma hadn't even been gone 2 weeks, and already they were circling like vultures. When the lawyer handed out copies of the will, I started reading through mine quietly. It was a pretty standard document, except for one paragraph that didn't make sense. It read, "To my grandchild, I leave not just memories but truth. Seek the place where light meets stone, and you'll find what was always meant for you." I thought it might be a poetic line, but something about it felt deliberate. Where light meets stone. That wasn't a phrase Grandma would randomly use. She was always precise with her words. After the meeting, while everyone was arguing about furniture and jewelry, I drove straight to her old house. I sat in the living room, sunlight streaming through the window hitting the fireplace. Light, stone, it clicked. I got down on my knees and started checking the old stone hearth. One of the smaller stones felt loose. I pried it out carefully, and behind it was a small metal box wrapped in cloth. My heart was pounding. Inside was a folded letter, a few faded photographs, and a small key. If you're reading this, it means you saw what no one else did. This family has built its foundation on secrets. You deserve to know the truth before anyone else does. The photos were black and white, one of Grandma when she was young, standing next to a man I didn't recognize. The other was a baby picture of my dad. But the man beside Grandma wasn't my grandfather. The letter explained everything. My grandmother had fallen in love before marrying my grandfather, and my father was the child of that relationship. But the man disappeared, drafted, and lost in Vietnam. She had kept the truth buried, fearing judgment from her conservative family. The key in the box belonged to a safety deposit box downtown. Inside that, I later found letters from the soldier, all addressed to her, all unopened. She hadn't wanted the rest of the family to find this. She wanted me, the only one who ever listened to her stories, to understand where we came from and to carry the truth forward. When I told my father, he just sat there for a long time, silent. Then he smiled sadly and said, "She always said you paid attention." As for the rest of the family, they never even noticed the strange line in the will. They got their money, but I got something far more valuable, the truth.